Good morning and welcome to episode 6 of the Arctic Crafts podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook as Arctic Crafts by Bente. My Etsy shop is Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry I'm Arctic Crafts 65. Today we have a rather wet day in Vesterålen. It's raining and we had some frost yesterday, so yes, I accept that fall is over us, but I'm okay with that because it means it's sweater weather and I can wear my shawls. Speaking of which, maybe we should do a blast from the past. I'm wearing a shawl I knit, it's over a year ago. And I really love it. It's the Areas shawl by Martina Behm. And I've knit it in Sugar Tots plush sock in the Garage Band colorway and Persephone sock from Countess Ablaze in the colorway Chasing Pavements. And actually I can wear a shawl today, even though I'm in my 50s, if you know what I mean. I have been dyeing a lot this week. It's been a busy week because next weekend is my first fair ever. And next week I'm not planning on dyeing anything. I'm just doing prepping and admin for the fair. Labeling stuff, planning on what my booth should look like, stuff like that. So I have a couple of skeins left to dye and I'm planning to do that this weekend. Normally I try to have my weekends off, but I think it's an exception when I have this big fair and I'm both scared and excited at the same time. Let's talk about knitting, shall we? And I realized that I have to go get my finished object because I haven't got it with me. Be right back. That's what happens when you try to be professional, and I have everything around me except for my FO. I think I need some coffee. I haven't woken up yet. This, by the way, is a gift from our neighbor. It says Mitt strikkekrus on this side. In English that means my knitting mug. And I love what it says on the other side. In English this says knit, eat chocolate, drink coffee, repeat. Sounds like a good day to me. I'm planning on... And that's the cat again. I have a psycho cat here today, so if you hear any strange noises, that's him. And I think I have to discard my shawl, because that running around was enough to trigger... Yeah, as I said, I'm a woman in her 50s. Over to my FO, instead of this around, and you can keep quiet. His name is Severus Snape, and that's because he's black and shiny, and he loves to tease his older brother, who's called Harry, after Harry Potter, because he's has black spots and is a bit mischievous. And as you can hear, so is Snape right this minute. And then my FO. This is the Jamie shawl by Cozy Up Knits. Let's hold it back a bit so you can see the colors easily. I've knit this in a color changing yarn from Hobby. It's Hobbii, and it's called the Winter Glow. And after I finished this, I realized it had lots of greens and browns, So this is going to Canada, to my good friend Sue, CraftyKnitter7 on Instagram, because she loves greens and browns. I'm not too crazy about them. It didn't look like this in the cake, that's my excuse. So, and Sue knows about this. This is going to be her Christmas present. I'm going to put some surprises in there as well, because she knows about this shawl. And Jamie from Cozy Up Knits is like me when it comes to knitting. She gets bored easily, so she has thrown in both bobbles and eyelets and stuff like that. So it's not a boring knit, even though the last few rows are really, really long. So that's Sue's Christmas present. Sorted. And I'm debating whether this is an FO or if it's what's popularly known as a hoe. Because in this bag, I don't know if you remember, I'm knitting socks for my great nephews. Imagine, I'm a great aunt. And to make sure that I finished both pairs, because this is a really boring yarn. Sorry for saying so. It's the Grindle Hot Socks Cortina. It's a sport weight, maybe a heavy sport, light DK. And I'm knitting this on 3mm needles. And to make sure I finish both pairs, I'm knitting them at the same time, one from each ball. So I have a pair of socks. So is this an FO or is it two hoes? You decide. But I finished 2 socks and they have the same size feet as my husband. And when my niece told me that, I thought, oh, why did I volunteer to knit them socks for Christmas? But I'm getting them done. Even though I just barely started the second sock. So that's 2 hose. And then I'm finished with my FOs. And because I've been dying a lot this last week, and I finished that shawl, I haven't knit a lot, but what I have knit, I've done a lot of progress on. And come to think of it, I have a couple of more hose. I'm knitting the, oh my god, Spread the Love mitts by Crazy Sock Lady. And these are gorgeous. And they're all mine. And this is knit with Lazy Kate textiles. And I'm not sure what I talked about these last time. And I can't remember what the colorway is called, but it's from Lazy Kate Textiles, and I bought it at Ovis Yarns in Liverpool this Easter, and I've knit, this is the leftovers from my Tenya. I bought the yarn to knit the Tenya, and I have a gorgeous sock here. I should have put this on a sock blocker to show off the pattern, but I can do like this. This is by Rye Flower Knits. I love her sock patterns because they're not difficult to knit, but they're really intricate. And this yarn is, the pattern is Pocket Full of Cloves. And the yarn is Sundries by Pixie Yarn. So that's 1 sock and 1 mitt. And I've started the second mitt, but I haven't started the second sock yet. But I'm going to, trust me. But seeing as those socks are not a gift for Christmas, it may take a while, if I know myself. Because I have to have an excuse to knit on something if I'm going to finish it fast. And when it's, for me, normally I finish it fast, but I have Christmas knitting. I hate obligation knitting, but it's this time of year you have to do some Christmas knitting. Cold coffee, not good. And this bag, Jibberoo Sue's. I love this bag. My friend Sue in Canada and we were going to knit the BFF shawl. And I dyed up yarn for it, for both of us. And she just gave me permission to finish mine, because she has put her in hibernation and she doesn't know when she's going to start knitting it again. So I continued on it. So the last time I showed you this, I had just finished the fade between color 1 and 2. And now I've started the lace in color 2. And the next color is this one, and the last color is this one. So it's because Sue loves my 2 colorways, Antique Gold and Virginia Tobacco, I decided to start with those 2 and then make 2 darker ones. Neither of these have a color name, but I'm dyeing up a shawl trio in 3 of the colors. So it's going to my shop. Not 4, but 3 colors. The 4 color one is just for me and Sue. And I don't know if you remember, I was knitting a sweater for my son in yarn that I've repurposed, because I was knitting a sweater for my husband and he wears a 4XL, and when I have arthritis in one of my shoulders, and when the sweater started being really heavy, my shoulders hurt. So my son is much smaller than my husband, so I repurposed the yarn and started knitting a flax sweater for my son. And the last time you saw this, I was where the Progresskeeper is, and I've just started the ribbing at the bottom, and I finished a sleeve. And you see that it looks a bit uneven, but that's just because the yarn has been frogged. And the old sweater was hibernating for a long time before I frogged it, but this will block out. And I'm hopeful that it fits my son, because he's in Tromsø and I don't have him available for trying it on. So but because it's a top down, you can always just rip out the cast on and then knit it a longer, or rip back if it's too long. But hopefully everything is going to be all right. And I think that's it for whips. Yes, it's. And I have decided to call the next portion of the podcast for show and tell. And I'm going to show you what's dropped into my mailbox and what I have purchased the last week. And I'm going to show you, my husband gave me a gift card, Etsy gift card for my birthday. And the last few items have started to arrive. And one of them is a mini set. As you can see, it's from Joy to the Wool. I love this mitten stitch marker. I'm going to start using it now that I've shown this to you. This was a surprise mini set, so it's a mixture of everything. And 2 of the colors are kind of Christmassy, so I might use these for heels and toes. And this one is really, really colorful. So maybe put it in some scrappy socks or something, but really fun color. And then, suitably, because we are going up to Halloween, I ordered some really, really amazing sugar skull stitch markers. I love sugar skulls. And these are from Mrs. G Makes. on Etsy. And I bought a set of 3 because they're not just for me. So I ordered a set of 3. And something else, I actually won something. The Crazy Sock Lady has a sock along. She had a summer sock along, spring and summer sock along. And I actually won a prize. And I won this. It's from Seashore Sharon, I think. Yeah, Seashore Sharon. That's difficult to say, by the way. And it's this lovely yellow project bag. It has a rather unique shape. And I'm actually thinking of using this for knitting needles. Because I think that's what it's most suitable for. Or maybe if you're knitting a scarf or something. I don't think I can get a full cake of yarn in here. You can hear him? He's going around my legs, making noise. And I signed up for something called the Craft Pod. I'm not sure you heard about the Craft Pod. It's I got my summer one, and that's not finished by a long shot. So I'll try to keep this in a clever place until I actually finish the summer one, and see if I be able to do that. The Craft Pods are stitching, embroidery, and you get everything you need in this box. You get the embroidery hoop, the cloth to embroider on, and you get this for how to do the embroidery. And this time we actually had 2. We have what we need to make this lovely brooch, never mind, you know what I mean. And some postcards, and holders for your floss, and all the floss you need in all the colors you need. And this is the pattern up close. As you can see, it's pumpkins and mushrooms. And this will probably, hopefully, be done by next fall. And what was really fun this time was that you can choose between using the hoop use it as an ornament if you embroider on the cloth and use the hoop as a frame, or you can use this. They included a tote bag with instructions on how to embroider the motif on the tote bag. I have a lot of tote bags, so I'll probably just use this as is and embroider and make an ornament with the frame. So that was my craft pod. And still there's more, because last Christmas Hanna from the Corner of Craft had this advent calendar from Bird and Blend, and I love the tea from Bird and Blend, so I was thinking, oh, I wish I had one of those. This year I don't have to wish for it because I have one. This was expensive, by the way, ordering it from the UK, because I had to pay VAT. So hopefully the tea is as good as I think it is. And this is, you get 1 tea bag for each day in December. And I already have a yarn advent calendar from Nora George, so I know what I'm doing. Every morning in December I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and unwrap my skein from Nora George. And because she always includes a pattern in her advent calendars, and I already have downloaded the info sheet on Ravelry, so I know it's a cowl. I'm not sure I'm knitting the cowl because I knit a cowl last year, and I use that all the time, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use a new cowl. So I might just go on Ravelry and find one of the amazing Advent projects that's been done before. You have shawls, you have, you have shawls, you have hats, socks even, that you can knit with 24 minis. So I might just go on Ravelry. I know I really love the Adventurous Wrap by Amba O'Brien. I think that's her name. I really love that one. So I'm going to... that's the thing with mystery knit-alongs. I've tried one and I got lucky because I liked the finished project. And now Stephen West is having a mystery knit-along. But Stephen West, I've knit the Exploration Station because that's not too out there, if you know what I mean. But a Stephen West project can be really, really, let's say, special. And I might not wear it. And then it's a waste of time, really. Because if it's too out there, I'm not sure I know anybody who's going to wear it. I'm sort of the most eccentric person I know when it comes to what I wear. For example, now I'm wearing pyjama pants. Why not? You only see this part of me. It's kind of like the old-time newscasters that always was sitting behind the desk and you were wondering, do they look as together from the waist down? Who knows? So that was my... I don't think I have anything more. I have something else to show you though, because during fall break, after I podcast last, the day after my last podcast, my husband and I took my youngest son to a local art gallery called Galleri Uvær. She's an artist that works with glass. She's I think it's called fusing, the thing she does with glass. Lots of it in case. And she shares the premises with a lady calling herself Betty's Tea Salon. And they have lots of really nice cake and good tea. So we took Erlend there that Saturday because the owner of the gallery, Siv she's called, she has sheep. And 3 of the sheeps are really cuddly and sociable. And she had what she was calling kosesaudagen. Kosesau in English means cuddly sheep, because they are cuddly. One of them actually is a celebrity. His name in Norwegian is Svartepetter, that means Black Peter. And she actually wrote a children's book about him, because he ran away when he was going to get sheared. So the book is called Sauen som ikke ville klippes, or the sheep that didn't want to get sheared. And I actually have footage of Erlend feeding Svartepetter. And I have some pictures of the sheep as well. And I'm going to put that at the end of the podcast. I'm going to put some footage from our trip to Galleri Uvær. What I didn't think of was to film or take pictures inside the gallery itself. And it was maybe that was a good thing, because it was really crowded and not everybody wants to have their face on the internet. But I have gotten the things I have bought from her before, so I'm going to show you the beautiful work she does. And I have to show you these. We have these 2 glass birds. The pink one is supposed to be me. The black one is supposed to be my husband. And I bought one of these. And my good friend Trine bought the other one, because she figured we had to have one each. And I really love these. They're so much fun. And I always feel in a good mood when I look at these 2. So they're me and my husband in glass form. And the last time we were there, not this time, but the last time we were there, I bought this. I thought this was really fitting because I had started my own business and the podcast and everything. And drøm stort, it says in Norwegian. And that just means dream big. And I thought that was really fitting. So that one is hanging in my kitchen so I can see it when I'm busy dyeing. So if I'm having a bad day and feeling that everything is going wrong and the colors don't turn out like I want them to, I just remind myself, I look at that and remind myself, dream big. And I think the last thing I'm going to do is actually do a bit of self-promotion. I'm going to show you I have some yarn drying in the bathroom, but this is about the last yarn I have ready for the fair. It's going in the shop first. What I'm planning to do, I'm planning on closing down my Etsy shop next weekend. I'm closing it down on the Friday, and I'm reopening it the Monday after the fair. I have to do some inventory before I open the shop. I'm just taking a holiday, as they call it on Etsy, and do inventory before I open it again so I can remove what's been sold during the weekend. So this is going to the shop on Sunday, and I'm going to... so my Etsy customers actually gets first dibs on this. Remember I was talking about splitting up some Christmas yarn into 50 and 20 sock sets? I have done so. This is Deck the Halls. I have this one with the red mini. It's not actually that red. I bought a professional ring light. The colors look much better than they did with my roof lights, but kind of crazy. So this is Deck the Halls. I have the red minis and the green minis. So that's Deck the Halls. And I have one of my favorite colors, Nebula. I've dyed up some skeins on my Merino DK, and I really love this color. It's purple, but you have some hot pink peeping through here and there. And I have within the closest, we have a beach rather close to us that's really beautiful. It's got white sand and crystal clear water. It's a bit too cold in the water for my taste, so I've tried swimming there once just to have it done, but I'm not going to do it again. Let's put it that way. So this colorway is called Tan, like the beach. And as you can see, it's got blue, sea green, and sand color. And this is, as you can see, on my Corriedale sock. Sorry about the focusing issues the camera's having, but you can see the colors. And I've dyed up another Christmassy colorway. I've dyed up some Impressionist watercolor, and I used Christmassy colors. So I'm calling this Impressionist watercolor Christmas edition. And I have this, I dyed up a shawl trio, as I'm calling them, in sport weight. I haven't done that before. So this is sport weight. And these colors have the rather exciting names Purple 1, Purple 2, and Purple 3. So this is a shawl trio. So I'm selling these as a trio, not separately. And I needed a cleanup skein because when I was dyeing the purples, I had some magenta in there, And pinks are notoriously difficult to exhaust in the dye pot, so I gave up in the end, and I threw in a skein of worsted. So this is the leftover dye from the shawl trio, and I put some splashes of purple in there just to make it a bit more exciting. And this is one of a kind. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this. It's a mop-up skein, because I've just put it into. I don't want to put any dye down the drain. So when I have leftover colors that won't exhaust, I throw in and just throw in a skein, and I get what I get. And I have an chaotic good. That's kind of the same thing. If I had tiny bits of dye stock left, instead of just putting them back, I just throw them on some yarn. And this is also sport weight, and it's called Chaotic Good. It's just splotches of color. And that's what I have for self-promotion. And at the bottom of the box, when I removed all the yarn, I found one more thing that arrived in the mail. It had hidden at the bottom of the box. Nora George, I'm talking a lot of Nora George because she's one of my favorite dyers. And she has started making soaps, wool soaps. And she's calling her brand Nora's Soap Kitchen. And this is a wool wash bar, and you can see it's vanilla, citrus and chai. And it smells so nice. So I'm debating whether I'm just going to leave it in a project bag, or if I'm going to actually use it. But I think I'm going to use it, because it smells really nice. Usually I use soak wool wash. When I dye yarn, it's really handy to have a bottle of soak standing by the sink, because I wash and rinse out my yarn in the kitchen sink. And we have a white basin in the bathroom, so if there's some yarn I'm not sure that I have removed everything, that the water is completely clear, I use that to rinse out the yarn, because on a white surface you can see easily if there's any color left in the water when you rinse it out. But normally I just use the kitchen sink. And I've talked about what I'm supposed to talk about today, I think. We're having a quiet weekend, sort of. We're going out this evening. My husband and I are going out this evening, but the rest of the weekend is quiet. But next week is going to be busy, but I'm going to podcast next Friday anyway. And I'll probably do some filming and taking some pictures at the fair. And if it's a lot of footage, I might consider making a vlog from the fair and put between next podcast and the podcast after it. But I'm not sure. Depends on how much footage I actually have. So I'm calling that. I've been ranting for half an hour, so that's probably enough. So after I'm done talking, you'll get to see some footage of the sheep at Galleri Uvær and some more pictures that I've taken during the week. And then I'll just say goodbye. See you next Friday. And please subscribe and thumbs up if you like what you see. Goodbye.